What is up, folks? Bristol Gaming, we are back with another exciting episode of 7 Days to Die Mods Week, because the show will help figure out what mods are good for you. And this week, as you guys can see, we have a cool week ahead of us. We're going to cover some really interesting mods. But before we jump into anything, I want to say thank you to community members. Your support means the world to me. Also, thank you, mod authors. Really appreciate all the awesome work that you guys do. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the mods. And the first mod is Hats by Efrosi. And you see my dude standing here. He is looking all dapper in his little top hat. Oop, I hit the escape button. I did not mean to. But look at that. He's looking dapper in his little top hat. Now, what this mod does is it adds in some hats, right? You say, oh, that's not a big deal. There's, stuff you could put in helmets and stuff in the game. But no, these hats are actually really nice. Like, you see they have really good armor rating. They come in some different colors. You have a trilby hat in white, black. You have a bucket hat in white and black. You have a top hat in white and black. And you see that white that white pops. Done it? But then we also have a bowler hat, which, look at that. We also have a pork pie, a cop hat, and a fedora. And I actually really like the fedora looking one, especially the white one. I don't know, it pops so hard. And these are better than the normal hats you find in the game, again, because one, they have armor, but also because we could actually sit here and modify and put stuff in them to make them even better. So all in all, to me, they're so much better than just, the normal headgear that you would have in game, because they actually look good for one, and they're functional to provide some protection to your brain helmet. Sorry, but it's just a really interesting mod that I like, because it adds another unique armor to the game that honestly I kind of wish was there in vanilla, because hats and stuff like that, like, while you may not see your character all the time, if you're playing with friends and stuff like that, I like not everyone looking the exact same, wearing the same kind of crap all the time. I like having some stuff like this. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and move over to the next mod. Alright, folks, so this next mod is Relics by Bladestorm Gaming, and it's actually a really neat mod where they've taken some icons from Path of Exiles, adjusted them a little bit, taken some sound effects from Diablo 2, and adjusted them and stuff. But what they've done is they've added some really cool, unique items to this game, where we now have relics that we can slot in gear that give different types of buffs depending upon what you have in you. Like, so we have this heatsink relic, right? So it says sockets into chest items. Attempts to absorb burning debuffs when you are burning. That's actually really handy, especially if you're playing like Darkness Falls and you have something like this with fighting demons and stuff that set you on fire all the time. This could come in really handy. You have a blast guard, 50 bonus explosion resistance. This is super good if you have friends like I do that like to try to blow you up with rocket launchers, dynamite, things like that. You have contained energy. When hit by enemy shock nearby, or when hit let me try to read this again. When hit by an enemy, shock nearby enemies, 20-second cooldown. That was so hard to get out, but that's really cool that it does that for you. You have a barricade, which when hit by an enemy, gain 100% damage mitigation, which decays over 5 seconds. This is, again, really awesome because it pretty much makes you immune to damage for a few seconds. That degrades, only happens once 20 seconds. You have skeletal steel, 1% damage mitigation per 10 player levels, which is really cool. So by the time you hit level 100, you're going to have 10% damage reduction. You have a master key, so 5% chance to prevent lockpick break per 10 player levels, 5% lockpicking speed per 10 player levels. Super cool. You have a Frigus, I hope I said that right. A regular hit, 25% chance for effect, ignores cooldown. Power attack, 100% chance for effect, cause nearby enemies to become chilled for 3 seconds, which again is really cool. So that's what makes this mod really neat, is these are all really cool things that you can put inside different chest armors to really tweak out how you play. And like I said, like this first one works really well in like Darkness Falls and stuff like that. All of these really go well in just a normal vanilla kind of gameplay if you just want to have something to really just spice up vanilla, or if you're playing Darkness Falls, Rebirth, Undead Legacy, anything like that that has special zombies or anything that can give you more than additional typical status effects. these things can really come in handy to really tweak out the gameplay and I think really enhance it. I've actually been testing this mod in Darkness Falls, just on the test world, just running around doing different stuff with them. And I've had a lot of fun with this. And I've actually contemplated adding this in to my Darkness Falls playthrough, but I don't know that I can without causing severe save file corruption or anything like that. But this is just a really, really cool mod to be playing with because it gives you a good buff that you can really play and have a lot of fun with. I really enjoy this mod a lot, and I hope you guys do too. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and move over to the next mod. All right, folks. So this next mod is card collecting by Guppy Kerr and the rest of the main modding community Discord. Which this is actually just it's kind of a fun mod, and I think this one would go well with the Telric card collecting mod that's coming out if Telric hasn't already come out with it yet. But what this mod does is, like, say you find a painting like this, you walk up to it, you say, pick up painting Ben, right? So now you can come in here and you can go to recipes and you can craft an empty frame. We're like, well, what do we do with this empty frame? Well, when you're out looting, you're going to run into stuff like these cards that we all have, or that I have right here. So you're going to have a bunch of these cards that you're going to find in your loot, and you see we have stuff pop up on the back end here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these. And what this does is it just shows different stuff about the different modders. So here we have Sphery. It says Origin Canada, Discord ID, Area of Expertise Coding, Weapon of Choice Patience, which Sphery is a patient person dealing with some of the questions that people have asked. I know I've asked dumb questions before, but it's really neat to have stuff like this in game. And I love the effect of like how they kind of rotate a little bit, bounce around like that. It's really cool and hypnotic to me, especially the way that it pops up like that on the screen. But then when you have these, you go ahead and you click once it's in your hotbar and you eat it, quote unquote. But what you're doing is you're actually storing it. So once you've gone through and you've looted all these, because there's 12 cards that you can find, or I'm sorry, not 12 cards, 15 cards that you can find. You go through and you eat all of these, eat again, quote unquote. You do your stuff, and then once you've done all this, you're gonna have a thing right here pop up in your inventory. It's gonna be called the Guppy Kerr Card Collection. So we're gonna go ahead and put this down here on a hotbar. We're gonna do, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, doy. What we do is we take the recipes, and if we had this unlocked, we would be able to craft the frame option for it. But since we don't have it unlocked yet because we haven't eaten everything, we can't really put it down. But I can easily just do card, and we could pull out one of these, and then we just take and you throw it up on the wall. And the big thing about this is you just sit here and look at it. That's really all it's for. But it's really neat to have stuff like this in game that you can loot, to be able to look at the different types of, you know, big name modders and stuff that are with the 7 Days to Die, that you can go through and collect and just kind of have stuff like this. I really like this a lot. I think this is really cool to be able to see everything. Plus the effects of these sitting here like this are just kind of fun. And it kind of adds like a neat little mini game. Like if you're playing with friends and stuff and you all have this installed, you can be like, oh, well, I got this one. Yeah, well, I got these, you know, because to me, these guys are big name people. Like at least, like I said, they're big name guys. They show a lot of love and support to the community with everything that they've done in game, making an already fun game something amazing. Like these mods that these guys come up with have made just so many impactful things happen in this game that I've been able to enjoy for years because of the work that they've done. So thank you guys for that, and having a mod like this where we can kind of, I don't want to say celebrate you guys, but be able to show off a little bit more love than we normally would is just really neat to me. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move over to the last mod. All right, folks. So this last mod is the World Deco Events for Darkness Falls by Lemon Pie and Mythics. And as you see, I'm out here in the snow, right? You look around, see a whole bunch of zombies and stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and go God mode real quick. And you're walking along, say, we're walking. We see some water towers over here. We're like, oh, what's going on with these water towers? Well, these water towers are part of this mod, right? So we see we got zombies spawning. And what this mod does is it adds in something like 81 POIs to Darkness Falls that really ups the challenge. And when I say really ups the challenge, you see how many zombies are here, right? This is just 2 little POIs. What about these over here? What about that one there? What about that? What about this one? And some of these little boulders and stuff are actual POIs. Oop, that's the wrong button. But hey, that's not what I hit. Okay, so that's actually not one. But you see how many POIs there are in this little bitty area? It spawns in a bunch. It populates the world very heavily and makes Darkness Falls that much more enjoyable, impactful, whatever word you want to use for it. You see how many zombies are here? Yeah. I've been playing with this mod for a little while now in game on a test world just like this one, and I had up to day 7 wasn't too bad. The first Horde night, everything kind of went okay, right? It was after the first Horde night that everything kind of started to go sideways because of how fast I'd been leveling up and how many zombies I had been killing because of this mod. That it was by the time the day 14 Horde rolled around, I was dealing with demons and behemoths and stuff like that, and I was already, I think I was level 60 or 70, which is insane because of this mod, and it's just so much fun. It is highly recommended both in the mod page and by myself that you do not play with 100% XP on. Turn the XP gain way the hell down for this mod. But it is fun because you see these little POIs here. If we were to kill off all these zombies, more would eventually spawn because of these body bags here and the way the mod works. So how we would get rid of these zombies, like we'll pick this little water tower over here where we first passed by, is like this body bag here. So we sit here and we harvest these things. Oh, you see how that guy just spawned in? That's a prime example of what I was saying. If you don't destroy those body bags, more zombies will continue to spawn in. We got one guy there, and the same thing here. We need to continue to scrap these. Oh, hey, look at that. We got a watch. And that's one thing I wanted to point out, is this is really cool because this gives you a chance to not only get legendary loot that Darkness Falls has, but other stuff that would be either really difficult to craft, rare, or what have you. So it makes it really beneficial to come play with these. So if you guys are the ones that just absolutely love Darkness Falls, it's the only way you can play the game. Or even if, you know, it's not the only way you can play the game, it's just, you know, one of your favorite mods or whatever, install this if you want a fun challenge, especially multiplayer. Because if everybody playing this together has this mod installed, you guys are going to have a ton of fun. And this POI is actually one of my favorite because it functions fairly well, if I'm being honest, as a horde base. Now, getting into it is I'm not going to tell you how you do it because you can probably guess yourselves how you would get inside of it. But we're just going to come up top real quick. And then we're going to come down. Hey, come on. There we go. We're going to come down and you see all these loot cases that are here. You know, and I'm actually going to ghost through this real quick so we can get in here. So you see all these little loot crates. It is filled, jammed to the packed with loot. You guys are not going to run out of loot at any point in time. I see a bunch of barrels. I got to do something stupid to show you guys how much fun this thing is. So I don't have a gun on me that we can use because I was just playing around goofing off to start this recording. So we're going to do this and we're going to go bang bang. Which you have to be careful about, because once you do that, there goes all the loot. Which actually happened to me the very first time I played with this POI, which was honestly really sad because I was looking forward to getting some of the loot that you could see through the windows and stuff, and I just started busting my way through the side, and then I didn't pay attention to what was there. Zombies came up, smacked it down, and then I just got disheartened super fast. But it's actually really neat that, why is this ammo pile just floating there like that? But it's actually really neat that they have stuff like that in here, which I just thought was freaking hilarious. because there's really no safe way to demolish those. So if a zombie busts through, your base is going bye-bye if you use that. But it is actually a really cool place to have as well, you know, for early days and stuff. But seeing all these POIs around, all these zombies that are going to continue to spawn and stuff, just have a nice computer, because otherwise it's going to be laggy as hell and you might not be able to handle it. But you see, there's a good variety here, and just in the short distance that we've been moving around, we've seen a ton of POIs, so it really populates the hell out of the world. And you see all these cops here, which, man, this would be a nightmare to clear. Like, you guys are gonna have a ton of fun with this mod. I know you will. I know I have. I have had an absolute blast with this. This has by far and away been one of the most fun mods that I've played around with. Just the sheer amount of anxiety it produces, or the amount of stuff you can fight, or the, oh my god, not again, you know, type feelings that you can get with this. But with that, folks, we are done for the week. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you had fun. If you liked the episode, go ahead, like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, let us know what you think. But have fun, take it easy. We will see you next time.